All right, welcome to week 5. Last week we learned about establishment terrorism. This week we are surveying terrorism from below, which refers to the constellation of dissident terrorism, the different kinds of acts, which is basically calculated to fundamentally revise an existing status quo. The chapter discusses 3 basic groupings of dissident terrorism: revolutionary dissidents, nihilist terrorism, and nationalist-inspired terrorism. Revolutionary terrorist organizations in the past were often ideologically motivated. During the Cold War, they frequently espoused revolutionary socialist or Marxist principles. Several of the groups in Western Europe kind of fit that bill. In fact, the IRA, the Irish Republican Army, was oftentimes kind of a Stalinist organization in terms of the goals that they espoused. Nihilist terrorism is often characterized as violence for the sake of violence. Nihilists often produce very well-reasoned critiques of whatever political order they attack, but they offer little to nothing in regard to what should replace the existing order. Nationalist-inspired terrorism is often irredentist in nature, which means that an ethno-nationalist group is seeking the return or the establishment of some independent state. Alternatively, a lot of nationalist groups engage in terrorism seeking political rights or greater autonomy. There's questions of, obviously the Basques in Spain have done that. It wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Catalonians maybe engaging in that kind of activity as Spain continues to sort of repress that region of Spain. As we learned a couple of weeks ago, most individuals who engage in terrorism are extremists, meaning that they have gone through a radicalization process leading them to the conviction that terrorist violence is entirely justified on the grounds that the political order they're attacking, in their view, is irredeemable and incapable of reform. To that end, most terrorists are convinced that failure is not an option, and they express overwhelming faith despite, impossible odds. Okay. I like the way that Martin discusses terrorist acts in terms of the environment that facilitates the resort to particular kinds of violence. I think that's a good way to look at it. Okay, this week, in addition to the weekly form and quiz, we have the first unit examination, which is worth 100 points. Make sure to review chapters 1 through 5 over the course of the week before you take the exam, which you need to take prior to 11:55 p.m. of September 22nd. I also want to alert you that the second writing assignment, which deals with religious terrorism, is due the following week. Again, that's the end of week 6, which is September 29th. So if I were you, I would take the time to give a quick read to the article by David C. Rappaport this week, so that you have the time to think about the article before you start writing. Let's have a great week.